Hello. Welcome to another episode of EGR 210. So, on today's jam-packed episode, will he survive? Will he not? Nobody knows. Hopefully I know the answer to that one. Okay. Welcome back to EGR 210. On today's class, our topic of discussion is software and modeling in engineering. And really for all sciences, this is relevant. When I go to do any kind of project task, any kind of engineering work at all, the thing that stands out most is how professional something is. Back 200 years ago, or even 150 years ago, or even 100 years ago, before the dawn of computers and before back when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth, people who did engineering work or really any kind of scientific work had to meticulously record all of their information by hand. If you couldn't read your handwriting, it was useless information at that point. At that point, being able to draw your own pictures that were representative, being able to record information professionally was really critical. At that point in time, everyone had to write in block letters or at least just fight through the fact that your cursive looks like you might have been being attacked by a bear while writing. So when it comes to modeling in software and engineering, this is really only something that has come into play in the last 30 years. The 1990s saw a very powerful shift towards using modeling software, towards digital recording of information. So really this is a topic that is still relatively recent in the history of engineering. It's not something that we can jump back and say, oh, well, we've always done it this way, because we really haven't. And there was even some hesitation in moving towards a digital CAD in civil engineering back in the 1990s because the resolution wasn't very good. You could get much better resolution using hand tools, using hand drawings, and they could be very well prepared, very professional. Well, fast forward to 2021, and hand drawings are nearly obsolete. Handwritten documents are nearly obsolete. We've reached a world where handwritten notes are considered they're considered very nostalgic, old-fashioned. To receive a handwritten note or letter from somebody is almost unheard of, because I can send an email faster and quite frankly with better spelling than a handwritten note. So looking at where our state of technology is right now, we have reached a point that is both a problem and an opportunity. A lot of businesses in today's world have workers working in them, employees, who did grow up in the age when there weren't modeling softwares. Where either they weren't taught in schools or where they weren't even used in the workplace. There are a lot of people who are very accustomed to not having modeling tools. Or the modeling tools that were available were written in Fortran. Which if you know anything about Fortran, we do not teach you Fortran, and you're welcome. when it comes to the current state of affairs, technology is something that your generation, I like to link myself in with your generation, but quite frankly, I'm a millennial. And I don't think any of you are, but I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Your generation, my generation, we've grown up with technology as kind of a crutch. If you struggled with anything, we turn to technology as a solution. There has to be an app for that. I can just jujule it. That's a GIF joke. Anyways, but we live in a world where technology is powerful and is capable and competent. So the real question is, how much do you need to know technology versus how much do you need to know by hand? Well, I can tell you right now, this is not a class on hand drawing. But I will say that drawings are necessary, not just necessary, they're critical for most engineering jobs. We live in a world where text information is effective, is useful, but having a drawing is worth so much more. Okay? Say I'm going to explain to you that I would like you to build a rectangular brick made out of aluminum 2021, and I want your aluminum brick to be quenched with Q3 quenching. I want the dimensions of the aluminum brick to be made such that it is 3 inches wide, ½ inch tall, and 3 feet long. I want the top surface to be milled. On all of those dimensions, I would like to have a tolerance of plus or minus 0.025 inches. Okay. Now I can tell that all to you, and if you want to go try to, it is pronounced GIF. I will take no questions on that. The person who created it pronounced it GIF. The person who created the giraffe pronounced it giraffe. I'm just sad we didn't pronounce it jujule. We won't talk about last semester, Ivana, but thank you. If I give you that description of a part, and I tell you to go make it, you would have to parse through that a few times to figure it out. And it would take a lot of your time. If I provide it in drawing form, and I provide it in a recognizable, relatively easy to access drawing form, there's a huge difference. Instead of, oh, well, make this part and here's all the specifications, I can look at dimension numbers. If I need a specific number or a specific value, I can go back and look at the drawing, which, by the way, would just look something like this. Okay, where it would be 3 inches plus or minus 0.025, 36 inches plus or minus 0.025 inches, and then this distance here would be, what did I say, 1/4 inch? I don't know, plus or minus 0.025 inches. Okay. Okay, that's all the information that I gave you in text form. Now look at this picture and tell me, make this? Oh, this is a lot easier. And this is a lot easier to transmit that information. Simply, it does make me feel better, Duncan, thank you. My camera does not laugh at my terrible jokes nearly as much as you did. Thank you, by the way, for making my ego swell. This type of information is much more useful than a verbal or a written communication. Okay, pictures say so much more. This is one of the reasons why in all of your technical reports I have stated that it's really important that you provide tables, that you provide lists, that you include drawings, that you have Ivana, you can always email me with pictures of snacks. I do like snacks, and you have great snacks. Ivana was my go-to. There was a reason why in my video discussing all of the requirements we have for your portfolio, one of the tabs is called Ivana is my best friend. It's because Ivana brought food. And yes, I am that petty. Created the giraffe. I think it was one of those like experiments where I believe they were trying to mix a tiger, a lion, and a stepladder. I think that's how the giraffe was created. In any case, there is a lot of merit that comes into drawings themselves. And I'm not going to teach you how to do hand drawings. Quite frankly, my lines aren't even straight. If you wanted to do a hand drawing correctly, and if you wanted to do it to the format that was necessary, it would require a straight edge. Some people will use ISO paper. We have graph paper that's useful for that. There are a lot of hand-drawn items that are needed still, but a very professional hand-drawn drawing takes a lot of time to put together. I had to do some of those when I was in high school even. That mentality that hand drawing is necessary even perpetuated into my college years. We're talking late 2000s, not like 1990s. I'm a millennial after all. So I'm not going to teach you hand drawing. And while hand drawing is, I mean, it's a great skill. People can hand draw all the time. I don't think you will ever use it. Not in your lifetimes. We just have too many things. Helen, don't go too deep on that one. It's funny. There are very few times when you would ever even want to have a hand-drawn drawing. Imagine spending half an hour on something that not only can you not edit very neatly, but if you make a mistake, you have to restart the entire drawing. It's an issue with hand drawings. So the need for drawings has always existed. But in today's world, the ability to reproduce, create, and develop drawings very quickly in a virtual environment, which makes them easy to edit and disseminate, has made technology so much more powerful. And with this generation, your generation, you probably will not see a time where we regress to hand drawings, just because hand drawings are hard to edit. Now, maybe if they make an interface that makes it easy to draw a professional drawing with your hand, that's fine, but that's not going to take away the digital interface of being able to use this software. So, I'm going to throw markers. That did not go in the trash can, and I will reuse that marker. So when I want to talk about software in this class, the importance of being able to understand software is, first of all, I guess I should write this in list format. Why should I know modeling software? Even as a scientist, it's important to know these types of software. This class in particular is a very foundational level course. While we do talk about engineering design, we devote about half of this class to discussing modeling. And spotted light pole. Hey, it's not marker abuse. Dang it, I am posting this on the internet. I need to start every video with a disclaimer like, please don't sue me for throwing markers in this class. Either that or I need to like make it blatant. Nah. I'll go over there and taunt them later before I gently pick them back up and put them over here. So why should I know modeling software? Why is this important? Well, first of all, number one, when it comes to technical communication, a drawing does a lot more to say what words can't. This could be a site layout. It could be anything. You can quickly sketch something up, scan it into your computer, throw it up. If you're doing something that's not very technical, but if you need to communicate with anybody externally, usually hand-drawn anything is not good. If you need to create a nice image for a presentation, do not hand-draw it. You use modeling software. Okay, you can just make just about anything in modeling software. So it makes no sense for you to hand draw something, which really doesn't look all that professional unless you spend the time to neatly draw the lines, use the straight edge, use the compass. Man, I have to keep up on this chat. Oh. That's true. That's true. I do throw a lot of markers at Duncan. Those markers didn't have names, thankfully. So first reason why you need to know modeling, technical communication. Second reason why you should know modeling is because this is a platform by which you can really develop and transmit a lot of very fine details. Trying to communicate these details through hand drawing or anything, it becomes a lot more cumbersome. If your drawing sucks, it's hard to pick dimensions out of it. That's why I don't really transmit a lot of hand-drawn stuff if I can help it. I have to do it on the board for classes, but anything really specific, like all of your assignments that I give you in class, I try to make sure that it's drawn in some kind of a modeling software, because that way I know for certain that you have the full extent of the information. I don't give them names because I don't want to get that emotionally attached to them. With the rate of which I use whiteboard markers, they go away very quickly. So the third reason why you would need to know modeling software. Now, as your generation would know, the advent of the iPhone allowed for a lot of things that previous generations didn't have. FaceTime is something that, the generation before you dreamed about. Generation before them thought about the ability to have a video call with other people. I mean, that even showed up in, Back to the Future. So it comes down to it, these are things that were thought of and were postulated and hoped for, but they weren't really made real until a cell phone made them real. And it was kind of an unintended side effect of this cell phone. Technology enables a lot of different things to happen. Man, you guys are just not letting me go. Yes, I mistreat my markers because they're nameless workers. You guys don't need to start a cult. If I lose my job because of markers, that would be really funny, actually. If I'm going to go, I might as well go in style. But the advent of technology empowers us. Engineering is a lot of math, a whole lot of math. And it turns out engineers don't like doing math. Why? Because if you make a math mistake, it's hard to justify that. And there are actually a lot of calculations that you can do with modeling software. You can calculate volumes. If you give the right material properties, you can calculate weights, you can calculate sizes, you can calculate amount of materials. It can automatically determine how to lay these materials out for manufacture. Doing proper modeling can be used in like civil engineering drawings, where they can take measurements in places where you did not create a measurement. In hand drawings, they only get the information you draw. In these types of drawings, there is information underneath the surface that isn't even included in the drawing that they could pull out if they need to. A lot of times people will be given a virtual drawing and say, hey, go take this measurement, find out what this length is, find out what this is, find that exact value. It's very common. You're able to get these calculations, you're able to get these distances, you're able to get dimensions of things that weren't even conceived of when the drawings were created. And beyond that, finite element analysis is the thing. Finite element analysis is a way for engineers to be able to determine the structural validity of a component. Like if you have a steel beam and you're going to load it with a certain amount of weight, is that steel beam going to fall over? Is it going to crack in half? Finite element analysis can give some of those answers. And it's a whole lot of calculations that, quite frankly, weren't even available to people 30 years ago. Or if they were available, they were extremely expensive and very challenging to do. Being able to do 3D modeling or 2D modeling has enabled us to have a lot more math. And as an engineer, not have to do a lot more math. All we have to do is know whether or not the math is being done correctly. And you just got to watch it happen. Okay. Dang it. If you guys show up to class with hashtag save the markers or hashtag markers are people too on your shirts, like, I don't even know if I can take you seriously anymore. This is terrible. Awful. Okay, so there are 3 really good reasons for learning modeling software. Beyond that, they're editable. These are things where you can go back in and change them. Virtually communicable, meaning you can send them to people very instantly. I can be sitting at my computer and I can send a file to Emilini, or I can send a file to Joel or Chris instantaneously, where they don't have to be present for me to hand them a picture. It can go to whatever work instrument they're on, and they can look at it from there. Okay, it's communicable like a disease. So, oh no, I need to make sure that all of you get in different classes. I'm gonna have to hold like 6 different sections of this class. Yes, I know how to mitigate cults. I'm a cult fighter. So these are the 5 reasons that I would give you on modeling software. Now, where is software used? Well, it's used all over in manufacturing, design, consulting work. It's used in every profession. Government work, academic work. Modeling software is used everywhere. Most engineers have to have a familiarity with either AutoCAD or SolidWorks. A lot of engineers have a familiarity with it, but don't know how to use it very well. So a lot of entry-level AutoCAD positions will open up, or SolidWorks positions will open up, or Revit positions will open up for students who understand the software and can simply use it. And yes, okay, that's mind-numbing for a first job. But oftentimes those are gateways to upper-level jobs. Because if you understand the technical work and you understand the intricate details of how to make a drawing, you showcase your professionalism. It allows you to move up in a company. It's really beneficial to understand these solid modeling and 2D linear modeling because it gives you that much of an edge in the market. It's a skill that's useful, and it's a skill that you can put on your resumes. By the end of this semester, I would expect all of you to have both AutoCAD and SolidWorks on your resumes, because we will be using both of them. Okay. Oh man. I can't get away from it. Yeah. Well, at least if there's only one person in each section, I don't have to see an overwhelming number of people walk in with the same shirts. All right. Other than just modeling, software is being increasingly used in engineering and scientific fields because software is a method by which people can really perform calculations or transmit information much more efficiently. If you make a computer do all of the grunt work, it saves your brain for doing things that aren't grunt work. And that's kind of the idea. One of the common thinking in the professional world is the task that I'm doing worth my time? Am I being paid $20 an hour to sit around and clean a toilet? Quite frankly, no, because there are people who will clean your toilet for cheaper than $20 an hour. $15 an hour is the talking rate of the new minimum wage. And that is a minimum wage job, not a high technical position job. You went to school, your brain becomes your greatest asset. The grunt work jobs are not necessary. The reason why there is a custodial staff in this building and in most places is because for me to see a spill on the floor and go clean it up, or for me to have trash in the garbage cans and for me to clean it up, that's taking away my time when I can be working on educating students. Or I could be working on watching cat videos on the internet. It's taking away my time from doing things productive and allocating that towards more menial tasks. And if we can take a lot of those menial tasks and assign them to a computer system, it makes them a lot more effective and a lot more efficient. And I don't have to put my mind to it, and I don't have to pay somebody $15 an hour to do it. And I'm not spending my hard time doing things that have nothing to do with my job. I can focus a lot more on what I feel needs to be done. Having SOLIDWORKS experience will make this a lot easier for you in Skylar. We'll make it easier for you in this class. Hey, stepladder gene splicing led to the giraffe. So, I mean, an end justifies a means, right? You guys are ridiculous. I love this. It's great. So, I embrace the use of technology. And unfortunately, what that means is you also have to learn how to do coding, and you have to learn how to use some pretty high-level equipment as a part of engineering. Our program requires it. We really emphasize pushing you to learn the technical aspect of how to engage in modeling, how to do programming, how to be a virtual presence. Because by doing so, you can be much more powerful than just the person who tries to solve things by hand. Okay? So that's going to be the end of this video. Some of this information will be on the quiz. Although, while I have that on my mind, quickly speaking, you have 3 assignments due next week. I'm giving you modeling learning assignments. Basically what that is you need to go watch some videos and take some quizzes. Okay, the quizzes have been posted on Canvas. They're the same quizzes as are on the site that you're going to go watch the videos for. So you'll go watch those videos, come back to Canvas, take the quiz. You can take the quizzes as many times as you want. I don't care if you take them together, and I don't care what, but because you can take them as many times as you want, get a perfect score, all right? The quizzes tell you whether or not you were wrong, so get a perfect score. You might as well. Take the quiz as many times as you need to get a perfect score. That's free points for you. If you don't want to hand in and get free points, I mean, again, that's on you. But I am basically handing you points with the modeling learning assignments because you can take those quizzes as many times as you want. And I believe it even tells you the right answers on the quizzes. So just take those. But you will need to watch the videos first. The videos, I think, do a really good job of explaining what AutoCAD is. We'll do something a little bit different second half of the semester for SolidWorks. But I like these videos. I think they're effective. That's two. You'll have 2 of those modeling learning assignments due next week. And you will also have 1 quiz that covers all of the content that we've talked about in class, probably excluding a lot of the whiteboard marker conversation. I may give you a question on whether or not who created the giraffe. That's yeah, I might, but who knows. But you will need to know this information here and the stuff that I talk about in class today. There will be a few questions on the quiz. There will also be some quiz questions. No, there will not be any quiz questions on the reading assignment. The first reading assignment that I gave you is due 2 weeks from today. Now, the reason why I made it due 2 weeks from today is because some of you still don't have the textbook. Some of you are ordering it. If I were you, I would try to get it done by next Thursday, but you do have a little bit of extra time in case you don't have that textbook. Now, I'm giving you 2 weeks from today to get the textbook ordered, bought, in your hands, find a way to do that reading assignment. I feel like that's reasonable. So if you need more time than that, please let me know. But do realize I'm already being flexible there. I'm not going to threaten you or anything. I do tend to try to be very reasonable, but I also need you to be reasonable in handing your homework. Okay? So 3 assignments due next week. 2 reading assignments due the week after, but I would start on 1 of them for next week. I'm going to be giving you a reading assignment every week basically up until our Project 1 assignment. I think I've already posted all of them. You can get as far away as you want on those. You can type those in. They have to be handed in as a PDF format, though. That is my only requirement. You'll hand them in through Canvas. Okay, any questions related to Jackson? You're not even in this class. But thank you. I appreciate that. I just smacked my microphone. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to end this stream, start a new stream. The link to that new stream is going to be on Canvas. I try to keep these videos short, but I guess I will see you in about 3 to 5 minutes, starting up a new video. The homework is due next Thursday. I have a weekly homework. I don't, for none of my classes, I don't like having daily homework. I want it to be weekly. So it'll be due next Thursday at midnight. You will see me, if you come to class next week, or you have the ability to come to class next week, you will see me in class, and we'll be able to talk about it then. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question, Zane. All right, I'm going to quit out of this one. If you have any other questions, you can ask me on the next stream. That works too, but I will